Why'd the monkey climb the tree? That's a question I thought about a lot as a kid. My mom was an artist and worked with these pair of brothers who were obsessed with all things tropical. This painting was one of my favorite pieces of their work. I had made up this story in my mind about this monkey waking up in a panic on the beach and seeing a huge storm rolling in over the horizon, and immediately, instinctively, climbing the tall, flexible palm tree to get to safety just in the nick of time. Now, that's the kind of story a kid comes up with, but it just might be rooted in some reality. You see, palm trees have tall, flexible trunks that allow them to move when a storm hits and dissipate some of the energy, rather than relying on the relatively weak, sandy soil that they tend to grow in. We do a similar thing when we design buildings in New Zealand, except for earthquakes. You see, a flexible building, or palm tree, when it's hit by an earthquake, might move, but a stiff building might collapse. So we design flexible buildings. But what if that flexible building or palm tree is hit by a tsunami after the earthquake? Should we make like the monkey and climb the tall, flexible building? If we do, how much will that building move when the tsunami does hit? These are the questions that are at the core of my research as I seek to better understand structural performance under tsunami loading. Now, much of the work that's been done so far has focused on stiff physical models that don't move very much when we hit them with water. This is great for understanding things like the total force that's acting on a building and how factors like openings in the building might reduce that force. But it doesn't tell the whole story of structural performance. It's similar to trying to understand a palm tree by studying a telephone pole. My work focuses on introducing flexibility to these models, and in doing that, we've seen reductions in the total forces that are felt by these buildings. We hope that this data, along with numerical simulations, will allow us to not only better predict how much that force is reduced by, but also how much that building might move when a tsunami does hit. Through all of this information, what we'll be able to discern is which buildings are at risk prior to a tsunami, where we should focus our efforts after a tsunami, and generally how we can plan better for what's the most deadly and damaging of natural hazards. So, next time you see a palm tree swaying in the wind, think to yourself that Mother Nature has a thing or two left to teach us when it comes to structural engineering. But as for whether the monkey knows more about structural flexibility than I do, let's just call that monkey business.